we are seeing some reports of alleged intimidation and voter misinformation in North Carolina. The battleground state has been reeling for weeks from both Hurricane Helene and the deluge of false claims that followed, including threats against FEMA officials. CBS News correspondent Skyler Henry is live in Raleigh for us. Skyler, officials there basically saying, yes, there have been instances of this kind of thing, but nothing to the scale of what they were seeing post-Helene. Explain what the last few weeks have been like and what you're seeing there today.
That's exactly right, Lana. Good to be with you as always. What we have seen essentially is in that first couple of days, first couple of weeks following Hurricane Helene, there was a lot of misinformation and disinformation that was out there that was saying that the government's response to the hurricane, remember there was those FEMA concerns as well in terms of their response. They're saying that that was actually stifling the Republican response or the Republican vote. And really, government officials, election workers, and everyone has said that that is simply not true. As for these last couple of days in terms of misinformation and disinformation, election officials have said that there hasn't been much of a threat, but they are upping law enforcement postures in and around the state. We know that in each of the election offices throughout the state, they have what they're referring to as additional security screenings to try to keep in line and make sure that if a situation were to arise at a specific election office, that they have measures in place to make sure that the poll workers who are there and the folks who are working inside of those offices are as safe as possible. And that's installing everything from panic buttons to proper evacuation routes. But again, elections officials have said that there has not been any sort of threat that has popped out in terms of their concerns, but they say that this is something that is a bit different from what we saw 4 years ago. They're saying they're doing a little bit more with less in terms of the number of people that they have on hand to do the job, but they feel as if they're prepared for it today.
Glad to see that they've made those preparations, but that they don't need to use them right now. Real quick, Skyler, what are the differences between the candidate strategies there?
Yeah, so the Harris-Walz campaign, they actually feel pretty confident about what we're seeing today and what we've seen in North Carolina. And that is despite the early voting totals, some 4.5 million voters showing up to cast their ballots, a large number of them Republicans, which is an about face, if you will, from what we saw in 2020. But they also feel as if this is a state that is very much in play, which is interesting. Especially considering that this is a state that has gone to former President Trump the last two cycles. It's gone to the Republican presidential candidate since 2012. And also, to that point, the Trump campaign obviously also feels pretty confident about what's happening here in the Tar Heel state. But we should, in a bird's eye view, sort of zoom out and pay attention to the fact that he had 4 rallies here in 3 days, suggesting that this is absolutely a state that he has to win. Remember, this is the only battleground state of the 7 that we identify that he won 4 years ago. And so this is a state that he has to lock in. He told supporters here in Raleigh that he feels as if that can happen if everyone shows up and shows out to the polls. As for Democrats, they say that they are focused on a range of issues. Many of the voters that we spoke with say that reproductive rights, the economy, immigration, those are all issues that they say that they are focused on. This is a largely Democratic polling precinct here in Wake County. That's where Raleigh is. And they say that they're excited to see if history could be made here tonight. We'll see what happens when polls close at 7:30.
All right, Skyler Henry, thank you. Well, be sure to stay with us for all-day coverage today. You can also watch Election Night with the CBS News team live from our election headquarters. You see it there in New York. And with our team spread out across the country, join us for real-time results, analysis, and exclusive polling. Coverage starts at 4 p.m. Eastern on CBS News 24/7 and 7 p.m. Eastern on CBS.